Welcome to another episode of the Kswap 240, proudly presented by Turn 14 Distribution. It is finally time to shake the 240 down on the racetrack. We are here at Toronto Motorsports Park, and it is another big day for us. The Kswap 240 hits the racetrack. So it's gonna be really awesome. We're just gonna give it a quick shakedown to see exactly if everything works fine, if we can get the tires up to temperature, because it is a little bit chilly out. It's about 10 degrees, so about 50 Fahrenheit out here. But let's give you guys a quick overview for those of you that haven't seen this car in a while in terms of the suspension or what's everything has been done. If you've been following the engine build, there's a lot of stuff on this car that actually I've done in previous series, so if you want to watch those, definitely check them out on the channel. But let's start off with our wheels and tires here. These are 18 by 9.5 Rays 57 CRs, and they are on Toyo R888Rs, a 255 3518 setup, and it's square all around, so front and rear is set up the same. I've got Brembo brakes from an Evo that I've converted onto here. They are a little bit touchy. I was gonna actually swap out brake pads, and I do have some. I didn't bring them, DP, but whatever. Today's just a shakedown day, so that'll be something we get to. I've got 300 ZX brakes in the rear as well. In the interior, I've got a Recaro bucket seat, a auto power roll bar that I've installed, and pretty much everything else is stock. It's like a street car. Obviously, we've got the stack cluster that was done by Broadfield Customs. We've got the K24 shifter with a Circuit Hero shift knob. I've got my personal steering wheel with a Worksbell hub. And suspension-wise, we are running KW 2A Club Sports.
Any last words, BT? I'm ready. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Rip some tech, buddy.
Oh, yes. 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 So good. Oh, you know what? I think the motor's rubbing on the chassis in the corner, because I can feel a vibration coming through the car. Yeah, only on left-hand turns. But wow, guys, it feels really good. Doesn't have the torque of an SR, but like if I get on it here, feels awesome. Wow. It's so good, guys. So good. So good. Look at that. Nice grip. The Toyos are working well. The square setup's nice. Yeah, I can definitely feel something's rubbing on the chassis. That's okay, though. Oh, this motor's awesome. Feel this thing move. Yeah. I am loving it. It seems to be running with no issues whatsoever. Slow her down. Oh yeah, throw it in the corner here. Oh yeah, this is amazing. Amazing, and everything seems to be working great. Nothing yet that I can complain about. The gearbox is good. It's a little noisy, as I found, but you know what? On a track, it's fine. The shifts are precise. KBAT has done a good job with the shifter. Yeah, I'm getting low oil pressure in the corners, so I can see 36. Let's watch this. On the left side, no problem, huh? So let's see, let's push hard into this corner here and see what happens. All right, oh yeah, 19.998, yeah. Oof, so we're getting, that's not good. We're getting oil starvation in the corners with all that baffling. Okay, let's see, high RPM, oil pressure is still holding. Let's see here, oil pressure fell a little bit. Still 80, that's tough. So in certain corners, it is reading a little too low. Yeah, there you go. See, I saw 20 there. Interesting. Interesting, interesting. Well, aside from the oil pressure, this car feels awesome. The balance is great, lots of grip. I'm loving this motor. It's pretty torquey coming out of the corner here. I get on it, feels good. No complaints at all. Wow, it's just great to finally be driving this car and ripping some tech. Oh, almost missed a gear there. Third gear is a little tricky, just a bit. You can tell by the smile on my face, I am a happy camper. This car is awesome. It really, really is. I've got to say, the K motor in this chassis works exceptionally well. No, it is not crazy fast, but compared to an SR, I think it would give it a run for its money, definitely down the front straight. It does not have that like torque coming out of the corners, but when you slam on the throttle a little bit earlier, it certainly pulls you out. It's just such a linear motor. Like, I absolutely love these K motors, and it just reinforces the fact that this was a great swap for us to do. I mean, with boost, this thing's gonna be a monster, but NA, it's pretty wicked. Like, being out there, it feels fun. It doesn't feel sluggish. It's not like stock FRS, like, I don't want to insult some people, but it's certainly got enough pep and go. The 2.4 liter in terms of torque picks up and moves pretty quickly, so I'm loving it. I think the transmission works well, so everything is good. The one little issue that I had was the oil pressure light was coming on in left-hand corners, and I'm not exactly sure if that's something that's problematic. I mean, we've seen it in our FRS where oil definitely, the pressure does dip when you're making corners, but this one went down to like 9 PSI at once. It was in the 20s a couple times, so I just don't know if that's an issue. Maybe you guys can tell us in the comments if you think that's a problem or not. I mean, it's staying on for a small time. I know prolonged periods are definitely a huge problem, so if long sweeping corners, like on the corner one here, where you're in third gear and you're pushing hard, we're not seeing any type of issues. So that would be a problem, I think, for oil starvation. But otherwise, the small little corners, the tight ones, I don't know if it is. So let us know in the comments. And other than that, there's a slight rubbing, I think, on the chassis when the motor flexes. So when I'm making, I think, right-hand turns, I can feel the vibration come through the chassis. So I think there's something that we may need to clearance there. But man, for the first time out, it's really, really awesome. Super cool. I'm so stoked. So DP, I think it is your turn to drive.
Spacing is weird in this car. Oh yeah, I see what you mean by the engine feeling like it might be making a bit of contact. Wow, the gearbox feels weird. It's so much higher effort than a Honda gearbox. I'm not used to that and attached to a K motor. Brakes are touchy but feel strong. Yeah, there's that vibration again that he's talking about. Oh yeah, there's your low oil pressure light popping on for a second in the left-hander. Gotta say, I am a fan of the S chassis. Feels like a really responsive chassis. I already feel like I want this thing to have a turbo in it though. Needs more jam, people. She needs more jam. Starting to get a feel for her. Feels like this car could lap all day, man. I'm loving it. Yeah, look at that understeer there. We need to soften up the front end. Get this baby turning better because she's ready for some actual anger driving here, I think. Really good. I'm gonna leave it in third here too and see what happens. Just get on the gas earlier. Yeah, I think that might be the way to do it. Man, I think we've built something pretty special here. was pretty exciting. I don't think I've ever driven this car before in its SR20 life, so I don't really have a baseline to compare it to, but in its K24 form, it was a lot of fun. The power band is so linear, and the gearing is so different than I'm used to in Hondas that took me a little while to get my head wrapped around. I was banging the rev limiter a lot in second and sometimes in third, because it just felt like I shouldn't have to need to shift yet based on where I was on the track, because I'm so like programmed to shift in certain places based on, you know, Honda configurations. So, but once I started to realize I need to be in third instead of second and fourth instead of third in a bunch of places, it started to kind of like get a feel for it, and it works remarkably well. Like that gearbox, the spacing is a little wider on the gates than in a Honda, and the effort's a little bit higher. So again, like the brain has, you know, needs a minute to kind of...
Yeah, it's no S2000 gearbox,
It's not,
right?
but it's not bad. Like once you get a feel for it, I wasn't struggling with it anymore. So the shift knob came loose on me, by the way. So
It also came loose on me too, yeah.
Thread locker on there,
yeah,
maybe.
I think we're gonna have to do that.
Yeah, but the ergonomics are not fantastic in there. Like my head's against the ceiling and I'm a little far back and the steering wheel's a little low. So like there's small things like that I would want to fix if it was my own car, but I could still drive it fine. The pedals are a little far apart for heel and toe, but again,
That's chassis life, man.
all easily tuned out if it was like my personal race car, but you didn't have any problems driving it, so what?
No, and it's fine. Like I still feel cramped. I've got the exact same sentiments as you, but it's just, I think that's just an S chassis thing, and
Yeah.
you either start going into that race car trap where you start cutting the floor out and all that jazz, or
no, you don't
I mean,
do
we
that.
could get rid of the sunroof, but I'm not going down that road.
It's not bad. Like
No.
it's just my head's against it, but it's not
Yeah.
like I'm getting rattled around in there. So no, it was good. And I mean, the performance of the engine seemed rock solid. The only time I saw anything unusual was the light coming on in the S's. So the oil pressure light would just blink at me for like not even a second as we went from the right to left. So it's like the oil is being asked to move one way and then the other, and it wasn't really happy about that. Well, we got her down to a 121.7, but she's still pushing a lot, PT. I wonder if we actually have a base setup problem with too much spring rate in the front or too much sway bar in the front, because with those adjustments I would typically expect the car to be a lot more neutral than it was. And initially in the first lap it was pretty neutral, but as the tires warmed up it just started picking up more and more push. So we could go to more extreme setups on the damper, but my gut feeling is we have maybe some spring rate tuning or sway bar tuning to do to get this car to really rotate, and at that point this car will go way faster, because right now we're just fighting that push. But still, a 21.7 is like right there neck and neck with our K-swapped EK Civic, so pretty darn good out of the box to come to the track and do a 21.7 with
I know,
a completely
wow, like,
untested
this is
car.
awesome.
It's pretty impressive. I'm stoked about how much fun this car is and how much potential it has. The gearing is not right for this track either. Like there's a lot of speed left in this car if we get down to the nitty-gritty of it, which is exciting, because I didn't think we'd come here today and talk about that stuff.
I didn't even think we were going to put down a lap.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't think we'd put the lap
Oh,
timer in
Honda
there.
K motor, how we love you.
Gotta love it, and I think that may lead into the final episode on this series, which will be Pete and I really sitting down and having a heart-to-heart about the feasibility of this engine swap, the pros and cons of it, how expensive it was, you know, whether we would recommend it to others, what we might do differently if we were to do it again. So that I think will be a wrap on this series, and for today this is a wrap on this episode, so thank you very much for watching. We're stoked to put this thing on our lap time leaderboard and have it out here ripping at TMP is pretty damn amazing. So thanks again for watching, and if you want some Speed Academy swag, although this is not a Speed Academy ad, but if you want some, go to speedacademy.shop and get some there. And if you want to support our channel, be sure to check out Patreon. We have a page there where you can throw us a buck or two to put K's in everything. No oil leaks. It looks all clear back there, boys.
It's still puking out of the...
You're gonna demonetize your video if you put that on.
Copyright infringement here.
It's coming out of our little catch cans at the bottom. It's flowing right out.
That's all right.
So we need better
Just
scavenge
means
pumps.
we just have too much oil.
Too much oil.
Too much oil. We got to get it out of the engine.
If we just...
You may have crankcase pressure with two turbos and all the other stuff you got going on
There's
here.
no crankcase pressure.
What's going on in the trunk here, boys? I saw you working back here too. Oh man, all the goodies.
We had a boot come off here, so we just hit that with some sandpaper. Even though it was rolled, it still popped off.
Okay.
So you see my etching there. That's the sandpaper to grab that boot a little better. So we got that fixed.
I love it.
And then yeah, I think that's it.
So if people want to see more of this thing, where do they go?
To the Boss Garage. We dragged this thing out of a scrapyard, and we're just this is the first day on the track in 16 months. This track, we took a bone stock here Did a couple laps, and the car handles really well. Really happy with it. Just gotta keep the oil inside.